si Vice President Sara Duterte sa 2028 Presidential Preference Survey na inilabas ng Pulse Asia.
Sa hiwalay po na survey matchup, tabla naman sila ni Senator Raffy Tulfo na kapwa may tig 46%.
At para po pag-usapan yan, kasama po natin ngayong umaga ang political analyst at UST Political Science Professor na si Froilan Calilong. Good morning, kapatid! Magandang umaga po sa inyo, Sir Froilan.
Good morning, Andre. Good morning, Angela, and thank
Morning
you
po.
for having me.
Prof, ito nga po, no, naglabasan na po itong mga survey na ito. Sa kabila po ng impeachment case at iba pang isyong kinakaharap ni VP Sara, bakit po kaya nananatili pa rin siyang mataas sa survey?
Well, basically, kung titignan natin yung geographical distribution, she still was able to contain and maintain yung kanyang comfortable lead, lalong-lalo na dito sa Mindanao. But I think at this point in time, I think she should be very worried also about Senator Raffy Tulfo actually having a good or considerable number then, particularly in Luzon. Ano? And also yung segments ng boto o yung sentimiento nanggagaling sa iba't ibang mga socio-demographic classes, makita natin yung A, B, and C class medyo nagli-lean towards Senator Raffy Tulfo, which I believe is a byproduct of yung tinatawag natin ngayon na media-based trust, no, or media-based populism. And I think this is something that your Vice President, Sara Duterte, needs to really address as well, no? Especially right now na may kinakaharap siyang impeachment at meron ding mga maaaring magkaroon ng pagkalagas, no, sa kanyang mga kaalyado, particularly dito sa napipintungan na pagboto sa plenaryo.
Oo. Prof, kasi no, I understand na itong survey na ito ginawa prior to the impeachment proceeding o yung mga clarificatory hearings sa ginawa ng House Justice Committee. So if ever po magkaroon muli ng survey after this impeachment, do you think magkakaroon po ng malaking pagbabago doon sa mga numero ngayon ni VP Sara?
I really don't consider na magkakaroon ng malaking pagbabago, especially kung ang pagbabatayan natin dito ay yung strong, solid base niya, no, that of course is in Mindanao. Kasi kung makikita natin itong survey ngayon, you're right, hindi pa naman ito nakaka-capture yung mga pagdinig dito sa Justice Committee, pero nakita natin na meron pa rin siyang considerable lead over Leni Robredo, pero dito nga with Senator Raffy Tulfo tumatabla siya. No? So maaaring magkaroon ng epekto, no, lalong-lalo na kapag nagkaroon talaga ng full-blown trial pagdating doon sa impeachment. But we need to understand kasi na marami kasing iba't ibang konteksto ang kailangan natin ditong pagbantayan din. Unang-una, yung economic anxiety ng ating mga kababayan, bunsod nga nitong mga nararanasan nating economic problems. Pangalawa, syempre dito yung energy crisis natin. And tignan din natin dito yung stance nito ni Senator Raffy Tulfo and ganoon din naman ni ni Mayor Leni Robredo with regards corruption issues, kasi kung titignan natin medyo naging tahimik sila dito sa mga issues na to, no, and lumalabas si Vice President Sara Duterte lamang yung meron talagang enough strength to really make this flood control scandal and the people behind it accountable.
Prof, kahapon po nakapanayam namin si Ronald Holmes, of course, President ng Pulse Asia, and sabi niya hindi daw nakatulong yung maagang pagdeklara ni Vice President Sara Duterte sa kanyang presidential bid sa 2028. Anong tingin niyo po doon? Agree po ba kayo? At kung babasihan po natin yung mga dati, yung mga nakaraan na trends, kasi may mga ibang time na late na nag-declare, pero yung mga maagang nag-declare, kung tisusundan po natin yung trend, totoo po bang hindi makakatulong kay VP Sara yung as early as 2026? Sabi niya, tatakbo na siya sa 2028.
Yeah, I agree with that. Pero I also have some reservations. Yes, it's true that she just simply exposed herself to more political vulnerabilities at this point in time, because she was the front runner. Kita naman natin yon bago itong mga surveys na to that was recently conducted. She was enjoying a quite comfortable lead, and then she declared yung kanyang candidacy, pero it did not really cause a tremendous spike or trajectory doon sa kanyang mga numero, no. So nagpapakita kasi syempre to that if you are really the front runner, all the guns of the enemies will be be pointed towards you, and all this demolition job, if you may call it like that, pwede mo talaga yung ma-experience. And I think this is really what's happening right now, no, with her. Pero I think kanya lang man siya nagdeklara because alam niya na may napipinto talagang impeachment, at alam niya na kung siya ay magdedeklara ng kanyang candidacy, syempre may mga congressmen tayo, no, na mag-iisip, no. They may be thinking twice, many times over, if they really would want to maintain yung kanilang political capital, especially those who are running for election, because gustong ipakita rito ni Vice President Sara Duterte that she still has a good considerable control of the popular base dito, lalong-lalo na sa Mindanao and parts of Visayas.
Well, Prof, ngayon pong nagpahayag nga po sina Mayor Lenny at si Senator Raffy Tulfo na hindi po sila interesado, hindi sila tatakbo sa national level sa 2028 or bilang presidente, no? Paano po kaya ito makakaapekto sa chances ng sino mang tatakbo laban kay VP Sara? Would an endorsement from, let's say, for example, Senator Raffy Tulfo or VP Lenny would give high chances doon sa tao na yun?
Ako personally, I'm not really thinking that both of them will not run. Actually, meron tayong tinatawag na reluctance politics, ano? And mukhang umepekto naman itong ploy na to in previous election cycles natin. So what I'm seeing here, no, between the two of them, I think in the course of time, especially with these numbers that may bode well for them, I think they might decide to actually run, especially if there will be a good coalition that could be formed, no? In fact, I'm seeing maaari silang mag-tandem, no, together, itong si Senator Raffy Tulfo and si former VP Leni Robredo, to be able to come up with a more formidable coalition against, of course, the Vice President Sara Duterte camp, no. So nakikita ko kasi dito, no, na may mga kanya-kanya silang mga bases, no? At nakikita natin sa takbo ng mga numero, maaaring magbago yung kanilang perception dito, at maaari nilang i-reconsider yung chances nila later on based, of course, on the sentiments coming from the public. Kasi right now, talagang there is no clear front runner, no? Makikita natin ito dito sa numero na to, no? Statistically tied sila. Then Leni Robredo is, though she's lagging behind, pero she's already catching up despite and in spite of the fact that she declared that she will not run. So these things, kinakailangan aralin to ng kanilang mga kampo, no, para ma-assess nila kung ano ba talaga yung chances of them venturing into the political arena come 2028.
Prof. Royland, kung hindi po tatakbo nga talaga si Mayor Lenny, si Sen. Raffy, sino mga personalidad ang nakikita niyong posibleng mapasama sa mga susunod na survey? May mga umuugong, people are trying to convince daw, Mar Rojas, of course, Senator Risa Hontiveros, kasama din dyan sa mga pangalan na umuusbong na pwedeng tumakbo sa 2028 sa pagka-presidente. Pero sabi nga ni Senator Risa kahapon na marami pang pwedeng mangyari. So, sino yung mga nakikita niyong possible names na umangat, if ever?
Well, when you look at the numbers kasi of Senator Risa Hontiveros, mukhang wala talagang paggalaw, no? She's still relatively lagging behind, ano? Medyo mababa talaga yung kanyang numero. And siguro para sa akin, sa hanay ng mga progressives and mga liberals, no, syempre potential candidate din naman si Senator Bam Aquino. And yun, he could actually consolidate a good fight, primarily because medyo meron siyang command, lalong-lalo na dun sa mga Gen Z millennial voters natin, na nakita naman natin nung previous election, ano. So he could actually be a potential candidate. Of course, syempre nandiyan din yung kanyang name recall, ano, coming from the Aquino clan, no. Pero kasi makikita natin kasi dito sa politika natin ngayon, ano, especially with the results of the survey, na masyadong highly polarized and quite competitive tong elections na to. Hindi kagaya noong 2010 or 2016 na meron talagang dominant political bloc na masasabi na lang nakapag-consolidate ng mga puwersa. Ngayon kasi hindi ko nakikita yun, ano? Kasi marami at iba-iba yung pinanggagalingan. So probably Senator Bam Aquino could be one. Senator Risa Hontiveros, a lot of people are saying right now that even Senator Trillanes could make a good run. Pero we'll see, no? I think what is important here is basically yung coalition building, how they could strengthen their own political bases.
Ayun. Well, titignan natin kung anong mga susunod pang kabanata. Maraming salamat po as always sa inyong oras, Professor Froilan Calilong. Mga kapatid, Angela Lagunsad Castro po para sa komprehensibo at makabuluhang balitaan at talakayan. Mag-follow at subscribe na sa social media pages ng News 5.